In May of 2014, a group of high school friends went exploring through the Oregon wilderness for a weekend. For 3 days, the friends hiked and explored the area, taking in all the sights there were to see. However, on their last day, they managed to catch a glimpse of something truly breathtaking. None of the teens were heard from since.
I'm usually not afraid of anything, but this thing, it scares me. I didn't know what it was. Like, I was freaking out, and nobody was believing me. I tell you what, my heart skipped a beat.
Had seen the stuff of legends. A legend told from generation to generation since the dawn of time. They had seen the man, the myth, the legend himself, Boss Tweed. Boss Tweed was born on April 3rd, 1823, on the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Not much is known about Tweed's early life. As a child, his parents sold him to a roving gang of mines for 10 half pennies. He spent most of his adolescent years with this gang, roving around, dreaming of being free.
On his 18th birthday, Tweed purchased his freedom from the mines and went back to his childhood city of New York. He had forgiven his family for selling him into slavery, as he would have done the same to any of them.
In 1848, Tweed, along with 5 of his friends, formed a volunteer fire company affectionately called the Big Six, of which Tweed was the foreman.
Tweed was incredibly skilled with the axe. They say he could throw that thing with the gracefulness of a ballerina. Oddly enough, axe-related murderers went up by 75% after 1848.
At the time, fire companies were good recruiting places for political parties, and in 1852, the Democratic Party chose him as their nominee for the United States House of Representatives. In 1858, he was appointed to the New York County Board of Supervisors. In 1861, the chairman of the Democratic General Committee. Finally, in 1863, he was chosen to be the head of the General Committee of Tammany, the Democratic Party's political machine in New York City.
After becoming the leader of Tammany, Tweed went out and legally changed his name to Boss. He wanted to make it clear that he was the leader, and Grand Poobah Tweed just didn't have the same ring to it.
At this point, Tweed had successfully wrested power from others in the government by appointing those loyal to him to positions of power. With this newfound influence, Tweed formed a cult of personality, which henceforth became known as the Tweed Ring.
The Tweed Ring was more than just Tweed's closest circle. It was a cult. They frequently did satanic rituals and sacrificed goats. Tweed was often heard in the outtakes of interviews mumbling Natasi Volai under his breath.
After the election of 1869, Tweed's power and influence began to grow. Through his constituents, Tweed was able to elect his friends to many different public offices and began to embezzle money from the city. In all, Tweed is thought to have stolen between $25 and $45 million from taxpayers. However, he also reformed public goods, such as renovating the Harlem area and constructing the Brooklyn Bridge. For months since his silent coup of the city, Tweed had been under attack from political cartoonist Thomas Nast.
Well, quite frankly, we find out later in the history books that Thomas Nast was 100% accurate in his depictions of Boss Tweed. It was said late at night that Boss Tweed would remove his covering to reveal that he didn't have a head at all. He had a head that represented a bag full of money. Absolutely factual.
The Orange Riot of 1871, which resulted in the deaths of over 60 people, caused the citizens of New York City to begin to lose faith in Tweed and his government. At the same time, the New York Times had begun to receive inside information about the machinations of the Tweed Ring and exposed its corruption.
Tweed steals over $1 million from cities, says one headline. Tweed wins local hot dog eating contest, says another.
He was arrested later that year in 1871, but was released on bail and was elected to the New York State Senate. Tweed was again arrested and again released on bail. In 1873, Tweed was arrested a third time but was unable to pay bail, so he was stuck in jail permanently.
The amazing thing is that not only did he have this unusual looking head, the way that he's going to escape from prison when he eventually gets caught is he's going to continue to feed himself, where he will grow so large, he will physically burst out of the walls of the prison, escape from the prison, and then run to the shore and since he's created so much buoyancy in the largeness of his body, he is going to eventually float, riding the current all the way to Spain.
Tweed hid in Spain upon his escape, and there he donned the name Fergie Guadalupe. He got a job at a local burger joint called the Smelly Onion, where he cleaned bathrooms and was quite popular for the locals, as they were very interested in bearded women.
In 1876, he was recaptured by the U.S. government and brought back to the New York jail from whence he came. He was reported to have died of pneumonia in the Ludlow Street jail on April 12, 1878. However, some historians dispute this notion.
Many historians agree that Boss Tweed died on April 12, 1878. However, when you actually look at the evidence, it's fairly easy to see that the person who died that day was not Boss Tweed, but in fact his identical twin brother, Toss Tweed.
Tweed, under his alias Fergie Guadalupe, fled from public eye after his escape. He lived under bridges and ate rocks until his final days.
It is perfectly possible that Boss Tweed lived on to this day, through his sheer love of money. As long as this country is a capitalist one, Boss Tweed will live on.
I mean, of course Tweed survived to the present day. I've seen him. I've seen him with my own two eyes. He was the scariest thing I've ever seen. Now, I've also seen the Mothman, but that's a story for another time.
He's been known to feed on children. Run.
Tweed's corruption is almost unfathomable by today's standards. He's thought to have embezzled between $25 and $45 million from New York City during that time. And yet, at the same time, Tweed did in fact help construct many areas of the city. In today's world, in which political corruption is seen as an important issue, it's important to look back on corruption in the past to see what we can do in the future.
Yeah, Boss Tweed is super awesome. Yeah, Boss Tweed is super cool. Ooh, Boss Tweed, he's the greatest that there ever was. Boss Tweed, he's so awesome. He can kill a man with like a single backflip. Yeah, he's the best. Yeah, Boss Tweed. Woo, he's super awesome and stuff. Yeah, Boss Tweed. Woo.